Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news. I'm bang on live at 10 o'clock this morning because I'm not waiting for something to just put me in a bad mood and make me late. There's so much to discuss this morning as well. We've got Ronaldo bid coming in from Chelsea, 14 million. Would we take it? We've also got updates around Frenkie de Jong, which are utterly confusing, tiring, and I mean, look, I've got to say that people confuse negativity and positivity with being a good fan and being a bad fan. I wouldn't say I'm negative about United. I'm absolutely revved up to be positive. But tell me what there is to be positive about. I mean, I just feel that there's no guilt attached to being fed up. Positive, negative, whatever. There's no guilt attached to that. No Man United fan can tell you to stop moaning. The club are inflicting this on us. Like, ultimately, we'd all be a lot happier if the club was run by people who want to be successful on the football pitch. I don't get why people say it's moaning or negative to say the club is being run badly. We've bought nobody. We've sold nobody. People want to leave. People don't want to come. It is an absolute shit show. The only positive is Erik ten Hag. So to anybody who says, oh, stop moaning, this, that and the other, tell me what there is to be positive about. Tell me what there is. Apart from Erik ten Hag, what is there to be positive about Manchester United at the moment? There's loads of issues going on, and there's lots to get into this morning. And most of it, to be honest, you're probably not going to like, but I'll give you the journalist stories and everything like that. Lemar, Sangare, Tielemans and Neves, all cheaper options without the hassle. Time to move on, says Stuart. I think that's a great point from Stuart. Lemar is available, Sangare is available, Neves is available, Tielemans is available, but, you know, we're not the manager, and you do have to get what the manager wants. I've always said that. Who's a bigger mess, this government or the United board, says Aaron. It is a mess at the moment, but look, this to me this morning is really the thing that I'm just going to just put straight up, and you can read it off the screen, because I wasn't expecting this morning. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano via @CourtOffside. Personal terms with Manchester United and Frenkie de Jong haven't been discussed yet because the player would like to stay at Barcelona and play in the Champions League. United have been aware of this for quite some time. So, you know, read that back. I mean, the important bit is United have been aware of this for quite some time, that he doesn't want to come, that he wants to stay at Barcelona. Now, we have been aware about this for some time. I agree with that. And, you know, there's no skirting the issue with that. We have been aware of that for a very long time. And Fabrizio goes on to say that Erik ten Hag will try in every way possible to change Frenkie de Jong's mind in the coming days. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. This is not from Spain or various Barcelona outlets that we don't really know that well, and maybe there's some sort of political angle on it. This is coming in from Fabrizio Romano. This is cold, harsh facts that Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to come to Manchester United. Now, we're going to talk about Ronaldo and this Chelsea bid in a minute and whether we should take it. But this is like, any hope Ronaldo could stay. We'll talk about that in a minute, Donick. But this is coming in from Fabrizio Romano that Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to come to Manchester United. He wants to stay in Spain. To which I would say this. I'm a little bit confused about the media and some of our fan base. Because every day for the last 3 days, I've heard, if Ronaldo doesn't want to be here, I don't care if he's our best player, the best leader in the dressing room, and our player of the year. I don't care about any of that. If he doesn't want to be here because we're not ambitious, get out of my club. You know, it's like bloody Peggy Mitchell in EastEnders. Get out of my pub. And I'm like, well, I don't agree with that. I don't. I think some people don't either. He's our best player. I agree with him not being happy about the ambition, and I agree with him wanting to leave. But some of our fans are like, oh, get out of my pub. Get out of my club. If you don't want to be here because we're not ambitious, get out of my club, right? Which is fine. That's an opinion. So on the one hand, you've got United fans passionately saying, I want Ronaldo to leave. I don't really understand that, but fine. You've got some of them saying, well, it's the club backing Ten Hag. Ten Hag wants to keep Ronaldo, by the way, but by the by. So you've got some United fans and the media saying, get rid of Ronaldo, he doesn't want to be here, it's really disrespectful and all this. On the other hand, they're refreshing their timeline on Twitter every 5 seconds to see if de Jong's coming, who doesn't want to be here and doesn't rate our ambition. So make that make sense to me. There are literally fans saying, get out Ronaldo because you don't want to be here, but when are we going to sign de Jong, who doesn't want to be here? It's like, can you see where I'm coming from with that? We actually have got people who want to kick out our player of the year and want him out of the club because he doesn't want to be here, but welcome Frenkie de Jong, who doesn't want to be here. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. My personal stance is I want them both to be here. And people will go, what? Well, no, I want Ronaldo to be here because I know he'll score 20 goals next season and I know he'll give everything because he's a professional. We've just got to get him to stay. So I want Ronaldo to stay even though he doesn't want to stay. I want De Jong to come, even though he doesn't want to come, because I know Erik ten Hag wants him. And I think the managers should be given what they want. So, but what I don't get is people who want De Jong but say get lost Ronaldo, because basically neither of them want to be here at the moment. So, you know, make that make sense. But that really worries me. Erik ten, it worries me that it's from Fabrizio, because Fabrizio, I mean, some would say Fabrizio's become very careful over the last year because he's got so much exposure now that he can't afford to be wrong on things. So when he does say things, especially about United, like in the next few minutes, Malacia is going to be officially announced, and it happens. And when he says that Frankie de Jong doesn't want to be at Man United and Erik ten Hag's got to persuade him, this is not what I know. This is not what I've been told. I've always been told. And look, I don't agree with him about the personal terms. Official personal terms are something very different to sit down and do. The reality is United have been in talks, and we've heard this before. Ten Hag and Frankie de Jong and the agent have been in conversation for a long time. They haven't signed off on personal terms. I agree with Romano on that, but there's a loose agreement about what he's going to get in wages, which is north of 300 grand a week, and signing on fee. So that I'm not worried about. But what I am worried about is Erik ten Hag having to persuade him. I mean, you know, 2 months chasing a player that still doesn't want to come just sounds very odd. But I'll go back to, because people will say, well, why do you want him? Why do you want him? He clearly doesn't want to be here. Let's get Lema and everything like that. I agree with you. Personally, I agree with you. But who's the manager of Manchester United? It's Erik ten Hag. The last thing I want is a manager to be able to sit there next season with Neves and go, I wanted Frankie de Jong. You have to get Frankie de Jong because it's what Erik ten Hag wants. Do I agree with it? It depends what his bloody mindset is, really. I mean, if he adamantly doesn't want to come, I just think psychologically he's not going to be happy. I mean, we can all say, go and get me that Ferrari from the Ferrari dealership because it looks absolutely brilliant. But somebody might be telling you, you do realise it's a bit of a dodgy Ferrari. You know, it's got a dodgy engine in it. I don't care. I really want it. And then when it doesn't perform, you've been warned. I feel a little bit like that about Frankie de Jong. What a great player he is. But if his mindset's not right, as we've seen with many players over the years, many of them talk about confidence and mindset. I mean, that's the risk. But obviously Eric backs himself that this is the right player, so you've got to do it. What you make of stories saying Barca due Frankie 17 million in wages, why would he stay at a club that can't pay him, says Dazu. I mean, like, look, Dazu, you make a great point. I think the Glazers are destroying our club, says Ivan. I think you make a great point. I still believe that we'll get De Jong. What I'm saying is, you've got some fans saying kick Ronaldo out because he doesn't want to be here. Remember, Ronaldo doesn't want to be here because we're not ambitious, by the way. So some people are saying kick Ronaldo out because he doesn't want to be here. But then on the other hand, they're saying get Frankie de Jong, who doesn't want to be here. That's my issue. It's like it's the hypocrisy of saying get rid of Ronaldo but bring Frankie in when neither of them want to be here at the moment. So you shouldn't. I mean, basically, if you're being logical, if you want Ronaldo to be sold, you shouldn't want De Jong. And if you want Ronaldo to stay, then maybe you do want De Jong, which is what I want. But the De Jong transfer is, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm only talking about it because that Romano update is quite big, that he still doesn't want to come to United and adamantly wants to stay at Barcelona. I thought we would have thawed that a little bit. He's owed £17 million in wages. Man United will probably bloody play it, won't they? But I don't know. Apart from what that update is, I really would rather move on because the actual intricacies of De Jong, Man United, look, whether you like it or not, it's not my choice, it's not your choice. Man United and Erik ten Hag have staked everything on Frankie de Jong. This was the decision back in May. They've obviously decided no matter how long it takes, we're going to get this deal done. Our whole summer is fixated on Frankie de Jong. That's what it is. Like it or lump it, really. How would you feel losing Ronaldo to Chelsea? I'd be gutted, says Ig. And Boris and Glazers destroying football and the country, says Zayn Miyasi. Well, I think Boris is gone, isn't he? Let me just get rid of this twat in the chat. There we go. Right, okay, let's move on. Remember, I'm delivering the news here. Whether you like it or not, it's news and it's got journalists attached to it. So you can do and say what you like, but the reality is that. Okay, let's bring this up. Chelsea are preparing a £14 million bid for Cristiano Ronaldo. There was a story last night from Neil Custis in The Sun. Now, I know some people don't rate The Sun, but I've always said that Neil Custis has been attached to The Sun and a Man United correspondent for many years, and he does tend to get some things right. Now, what he said last night, according to Neil Custis, Mark for PM, says Zayn Miasi. So, look, I think that, just refresh, I think it just dropped a minute there. I think with regards to that, Glazers will turn us into a dump like Leeds, says Icky. Mate, I reckon if Ronaldo stays, De Jong comes, and I reckon when United would sit him down and show we're going for this player, that player, he will stay, says Ben. I hope you're right about that. I really do hope you're back. Hope you're right about that. Look, on Ronaldo, I don't think there's really much to say. I don't want him to go. Some of you do want him to go. That's fine. That's absolutely up to you to do that. For me, the thing that stands out the most is that when Ronaldo goes, who's the leader in the dressing room? Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford. These aren't leaders. These aren't people I want to lead this team. But, you know, Ronaldo may well leave. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be in training today, from what I've heard, which is disappointing, but I suppose it's about whether he's going to be on the plane tomorrow, which, to be honest with you, I just don't know. Probably not. The only way we become efficient in the transfer market is if the Glazers and the board leave, says Jack. Spot on. Mate, I reckon if Rani stays, De Jong comes. Yeah, we've done that from Ben. The only way we become efficient, we've done that one from Jack. Quite different. De Jong owed millions, hence leaving means he may need to forego them. Ronaldo has to leave because of transfers when it's still mid-July. Don't know what you mean, Hamidi. I'm sure some people do. Don't know what you mean by that. I don't actually know what you mean by that. That it's quite different. I mean, it's quite the same to me. Frankie De Jong doesn't want to come to United. Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave because there's no ambition. But you know, I think with regards to this, my feeling is that I don't want to see. Apparently, Man United have agreed to sell Dylan Levitt to Dundee United. We're not going to get much money for him either, if anyone's interested in that. So this is an offer of 14 million that apparently is going to come in from Chelsea. Look, let's imagine Ronaldo is leaving. That's the best way to assess this. I put this on the club anyway. I blame the club for this. I don't really mind what anybody else thinks. You know, make your own mind up. That's what life's all about. If Ronaldo stays and sees out his last year, what's your thoughts on us potentially reigniting our interest in Kane and going for him as a replacement? I don't want Harry Kane, Ryan. I don't want Harry Kane. 29 years of age, 100 million quid. I don't want Harry Kane. I really don't want Harry Kane. He's one of the best strikers in the world, but I don't want Harry Kane. I've seen Harry Kane disappear in big games before. I don't want Harry Kane. Not for that price. Ronaldo wanting to leave could have been something for the fans to get behind and put pressure on the Glazers, but as always, it's led to fights within the fan bases. Armin. I'd have loved to have seen that, Armin. I think there was an opportunity there and it's been missed. I actually think that as a fan base, it would have been a good idea to get behind Ronaldo wanting to leave and use it as a message to the Glazers. You know, there's a lot of protests going on around United over the last 12 months, and whether Ronaldo's doing it for himself, of course he is, but United fans could have used that as a real rod to hit the Glazers with and say, look, our best player, our player of the year wants to leave because you're showing no ambition. But no, instead of that, we get this loyalty thing, which just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. Like, Ronaldo wants to leave us. He's a traitor. Get out of my club. And, you know, you've almost got the Glazers patting you on the back. Yes. Yes. Kick him out of our club. We don't want Ronaldo. We want to keep the ambitions low. Hi, Mark. It's my birthday today. I feel like the De Jong deal has actually led into Ronaldo's frustration, says Jake. Probably. You know, probably. Mark, now that it's Thursday and he's still not turned up, is it not right to think the family issue was false? No, Aaron. It's not right to think What if he's got a family member who's dying? Do you want to be that United fan saying it's a disgrace that he's not turned up for training? I would wait, like you should always wait, for strong evidence. It's like the Mason Greenwood thing. Like, people just cannot get their head around the fact that you shouldn't be commenting on it because you don't know what's going to happen with it. But at the moment, he's on bail. Like, you know, people always want people are impatient, basically. I would wait to see what happens with Ronaldo. Of course, he may well leave, but I would wait to see what happens with him before you start saying he's not turning up for training and he's turning his back on the club and all this lot. You just don't know the truth at the moment. I reckon De Jong was going to be this week, but with seeing Ronaldo wanting to go, United prioritising that, and why would De Jong want to join that mess, says Ben? Well, you know what, Ben, you've made a great point there, because if we go back to this is coming from Fabrizio Romano, basically that Eric Ten Hag, that Frankie De Jong does not want to join Manchester United. As of today, he still doesn't want to join United, and Eric Ten Hag will try to, in every way possible, to change his mind. But the understanding was that Frankie de Jong would join United if Barcelona sell him. So why is he against coming to United now? And maybe it's got something to do with the Ronaldo thing. Maybe he's like, look, I would have come there with Ronaldo, but with Ronaldo leaving, why the fuck would I come there at 25? His Frankie de Jong to United is a lot more safer option if Ronaldo's in the team. It's a more dangerous option for his career if Ronaldo's not in the team. So maybe that is something to do with it. Maybe Ben's onto something there. Red says, I'm disappointed in this club. It seems to get worse every day. Also, it's so frustrating seeing fans thinking we would be better without him. Well, that's just opinion, Red. I've got no problem with people who think we're better off without Ronaldo. I disagree with it, but that's what democracy, community is all about. You know, all I would say is, and welcome to Members Club Brandon, is if you're a fan that wants Ronaldo out, how the hell can you be waiting to buy a shirt with De Jong on it who doesn't want to be here? It's completely hypocritical. And I know that's a horrible word to be called a hypocrite, but how can you want Ronaldo out, who's actually delivered in a United shirt and been professional, and De Jong in, who's never played in a United shirt and doesn't want to? It doesn't make sense to me how you'd be like, come on, Frankie, get out, Cristiano. It just doesn't make any sense. But some people don't really understand hypocrisy, maybe. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm a hypocrite sometimes. We all are. But maybe they haven't thought that through. Maybe it's breaking news in their head. Oh, shit. I'm there waiting for De Jong, who doesn't want to be here, but I'm selling Ronaldo to go, who's been a club legend. I bet United would buy Harry Kane as he'll boost our share. Gwant, I think actually we probably would try and get Harry Kane. Werner for Ronaldo, thoughts it would be better if we get someone in at least, says Ig. Frankie de Jong deal is on Eric Ten Hag because even United board know they don't deserve Frankie de Jong, and ESPN roasting Malacia is nothing signing like the card already set for Eric Ten Hag, says Jay. We've got to try and stick with Eric Ten Hag. You know, he's just got to be backed. If he gets it wrong, he's judged on his signings. It's like Ollie and Harry Maguire. Ollie stuck by Maguire because he spent £80 million on it. It was always going to be his undoing, amongst other reasons. You've got to give the manager what they want. And if it is Harry Maguire or it is Frankie de Jong, you've got to give them that, because otherwise they're not being a manager. We're not the manager. The board's not the manager. Eric Ten Hag's the manager. If he makes mistakes and gets the sack, at least it's his mistakes. That's why they've got to get Frankie de Jong, whether we think it's a mistake or not. Is there a chance of getting Kante in a swap for Ronaldo, says Wolfie? You know, maybe we could spin a positive with that, you know. I want to talk about that bit anyway, but there's a few chats coming in. Hi Mark, it's sad, but this is the reality. The main problem is United are not in the Champions League and not ambitious. Ronaldo wants to go and De Jong won't come. This club is mismanaged, says Len. The Glazers are the cancer that is in our club from the inside. Who with ambition will want to come to a club whose ambition is to finish fourth, says Bog. And Armin says Ten Hag won 2 league titles after losing De Jong, Neres, Donny and Ziyech. Glazers saw this and realised they won't need to spend much on transfers with such a coach. It's a great point, Armin. It's a great point. We won't know the reality of that until the end of August and we see what our spend is. But if our net spend is under 100 million, that's abysmal for a first manager's summer. And you will be right. It will be because they have appointed him as the manager. So, you know, as a manager to come in and get the best out of what we've got. But going back to what we were talking about, let me just get it back on the screen for you. So Manchester United, Chelsea are preparing a bid of £14 million for Cristiano Ronaldo. What do I think about this? If Ronaldo's going to go, I want him to go to Bayern Munich. I want him out of the Premier League, and I want him I don't want him to go to Chelsea. Now, Ronaldo may want to go to Chelsea, and that may well be the case. Got some update on Dybala for you as well. Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo may want to go to Chelsea, but I would say this. If Ronaldo is leaving, we're not fucking Arsenal. Like, I loved getting Van Persie from Arsenal. And what I loved about it all the time was what a great player he was. And as much as I tried to keep a straight face, deep down I was just laughing at Arsenal. I was like, how do you lose your best player to one of your biggest rivals? It's embarrassing. I understood why Van Persie wanted to come to United, and he won a title. But we cannot sell Ronaldo to Chelsea. We've got control on that. Even if Ronaldo's like, I want to go to Chelsea, and Chelsea are like, we want Ronaldo. We don't fucking sell Ronaldo to Chelsea. Like, we don't sell him to a Premier League club. Like, what if Chelsea have a bad season like next year? What if the Tuchel bubble bursts? They've got a new manager in, they buy badly. This time last year, we were saying we're nailed on to get top 4. And we didn't. What if Chelsea drop out of the top 4 and that's a spot for us? You can't give them Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, you cannot. 14 million, 40 million. I don't believe, and I've got nothing against Chelsea, and actually, I've got nothing against Ronaldo either. But if Ronaldo goes to Chelsea, I think he will absolutely sit everybody down and show what he can do with a good manager and an ambitious side. We cannot sell him to a Premier League club. It's embarrassing enough that he wants to leave because we're not ambitious. You cannot sell him to a Premier League club. So that is in Manchester United's hands. If Ronaldo wants to go to Chelsea, that's up to him. If Chelsea want to sign him, that's up to him. I get it. But United can stop that from happening. And Manchester United, in my opinion, must stop that from happening. You cannot sell him to a Premier League rival. It's just embarrassing on every level. Don't you think that's a bit selfish? He's been treated like crap, says Shahir. And is it abysmal though, Mark? You can do good business without necessarily spending loads of cash. Players entering last year, free transfers, says Delic official. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I'll tell you what's abysmal, the way this club is run. I don't want to... The trouble is, you can make good signings that are free transfers. Of course you can. But we make free transfer signings because they're cheap. Because that's what the Glazers do. You can't say to me, it's good business to buy Dybala and Eriksen and Malacia and buy all these players on the cheap, and then the Glazers give themselves 11 million quid. It counteracts the fact that you're doing good business for footballing reasons. We'll be signing people cheap for money reasons so that we can get rid of it. I mean, the Glazers have had over 30 million this year. We haven't spent that on a player yet. In 2022, the Glazers have had about 30 million, I think, in dividends. We've not spent that on a player yet in either the January or the summer transfer window. Anyway, Romano has linked us to Paulo Dybala, by the way. That's sort of happened in the last few minutes. Apparently we have spoken to his agents, but there's no bid yet. Again, I'll repeat what I said. This will excite a lot of people, and I'm very happy for you if you want Dybala to come to the club. I suppose it's a positive. I'll repeat what I said yesterday. This deal worries me, and I like Dybala. I like Dybala more than I liked Cavani deal, and Cavani worked okay first year. But for me, Dybala, 3 reasons I don't want him. 1, it looks desperate. He was never part of the plan. 2, he's injury prone. He's had a ridiculously bad season. 6 injuries in 1 year. And 3, where's the queue of clubs that actually want to buy him? And 4, I guarantee you his wages will be fucking huge as well. So I don't want Dybala at United. It stinks of every bad deal we've done in the last 9 years. It's not his fault, and it's not your fault if you want him. He's a very, very good footballer, and he could work out at United. But this is the sort of deal that Liverpool or Man City should be doing, because it doesn't matter to them if it doesn't work out. For us, we should not be making these sort of signings when we're trying to rebuild the club. We need logical signings. And this is where I go back to Rangnick. Rangnick wouldn't have gone anywhere near Dybala. And I know people don't like Rangnick, but when you listen to some of what Rangnick said, and he spoke about the rebuild, he spoke about bringing players in who are on their first or second contracts, who are talented players, hungry and ready to take the step up. He wouldn't go anywhere near a free transfer of Dybala for 300 grand a week. He just wouldn't do it, because it's just not what we should be doing. We should be logically scouting and bringing in players that are part of this rebuild for the future, not players with worrying injury records, massive wages that nobody else is really in for. It worries me. But you know what? We've still got a lot of the people involved who've been involved for the last 9 years. Richard Arnold's been here 9 years. Murtaugh's been here years. They've just rebadged themselves. Are they going to make the same mistakes that they were making? We'll have to wait and see. With the potential possibility of Ronaldo leaving to Chelsea, there might be an opportunity to get Kante and Ziyech or Werner. If Chelsea's weakens us, we would weaken them too. Well, Mohammed, we're not weakening Chelsea by taking Ziyech or Werner. Speak to a Chelsea fan. We're going to give them our player of the year and one of the best strikers in the world, and they're going to give us a winger they don't want and a striker they don't want. Like, that's not weakening Chelsea. And also, if we get Ziyech, we don't get Antony. So we're weakening our recruitment as well. Instead of getting Antony, we get Ziyech. Armin, welcome to the Members Club. I mean, are we not just becoming a club that's going to fight for 5th consistently? Like, we've got to buy players to compete with the Chelseas and the Liverpools and the Man Cities, and we've just failed on that very basic need. We're not buying players that Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City are looking at and going, wow. We're not buying players that Spurs look at and go, wow. Like, how can you close it? When you finish sixth in the league over a 38-game season, that's where you deserve to be, apparently, but we didn't. We didn't deserve to finish 6th. We didn't deserve to finish 2nd the year before. We should have finished 7th last year. But we finished 6th. We're miles off everybody else. What have we done in the transfer market since? This is the most simplest thing. Somebody said it on the live chat last night. For anybody who's trying to get positive, what have we done to the team that finished 6th last year? What have we done to it? Pogba's gone, Mata's gone, Matic has gone, Cavani has gone, and Lingard has gone. Whatever you think of those 5 players, we've weakened the squad because some of those players are better than what's left. So the squad's weaker because those 5 have left. We've got a new manager, which is really exciting, and Ronaldo wants to leave. And we've brought in Malacia. That's it. At the moment, that team is weakened. We need to buy players, and we need to buy a lot of players. We can go for Kane now. Think he fits Ten Hag's system. We can't go for Kane. Who are you? What are you talking about, Amir? What are you on this morning? We can go for Kane now. We've spent 2 months trying to get De Jong and not worked on anything else because we've got a limited budget, mate. Where are you getting £120 million to go and get Harry Kane from? Oh, now Ronaldo's gone, we can go and get Harry Kane. Bloody hell. I mean, I don't get what you're talking about, mate. Eriksen is coming to Manchester United. Do you think a player with his incredible story will ignite new passion and fire into the squad? I don't know. I hope so, Andrew. It's a lovely story. I don't think Ronaldo will leave, to be honest. I pray to God. United stand, new fantasy league code. Join everybody, says Christian. Yeah, if you are a member, don't forget to check out the latest video where you can join the Fantasy Premier League United Stand Members League. Join by clicking the join button or going through the chat at the top. But if you are already a member, make sure you check it out. If we're in for Dybala, that screams to me that Ronaldo is leaving and that will be his replacement. I'm seriously worried, says Jordan. Darren says, United Stand had a thumbnail up a few weeks ago about saying we got him about Frankie de Jong. Walk away from Frankie de Jong. Tillemans is there for 35 mil. Club looks stupid, says Darren. Darren, we probably did. I almost feel like doing a collage of every thumbnail we've done for Frankie de Jong this summer because, I mean, a lot of the thumbnails we do are based on the news. Like today, it's Ronaldo bid. Maybe there has been a bid, maybe there hasn't been a bid. It's a news show. But what I will say about the Frankie de Jong deal is, and I've said it a few times, I've never known a transfer like it. It's the weirdest Manchester United transfer I've ever known. It's taken ages. Barcelona are in a financial mess. We've agreed a fee. That was widely reported. Was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago that we'd agreed a fee with Barcelona? And here we are, nowhere near getting the deal done. I mean, I just don't even have the energy to try and understand what this deal is all about. And this morning we've got Fabrizio coming around saying that Erik Ten Hag has got to try and persuade Frankie de Jong again. I mean, I thought that had already been done. I know he doesn't really want to come here, but I thought he'd been persuaded to come here. Apparently not. So, yeah, it's a bit all over the place at the moment. Have we really pushed the kit launch back a week to announce Malacia, says Aram? I don't think they pushed it back for that. I think they thought there'd be other players coming in. I mean, look, Christian Eriksen's going to get announced very soon. Rory says, I think we should just go and get Kane now. Rory, I know you're coming from a good place, but where the hell are we getting the money for Harry Kane from? Like, what are you talking about? You know what? As a fan, you can have lots of different opinions. That's what it's all about. But I think when it comes to the transfer window, if you want to get deep involved in the transfer window as a Man United fan, you've at least got to read the room. You know, people moan about our social media being rubbish at reading the room. You can't just say, if Ronaldo goes, let's go and sign Harry Kane. We've spent 2 months negotiating Frankie de Jong's fee down to 57 million. Does that sell, and doing nothing else, does that hint that we've got loads of money to spend? I don't think we've got hardly any money. I don't think we've, at one point I thought we were going to spend about 175 million, but a lot of that was based on sales. We've sold nobody, and I don't think we've got 120 million. I personally really am concerned about what our budget actually is, and I don't think we've got money to go and buy Harry Kane, and I don't think it would be a very good idea anyway. I think, again, it would be pure desperation. Mats, welcome to the Members Club. Aya, United board now has to show resistance on the Ronaldo move, says Aya. David, Mark, who do you think Erik Ten Hag would take as striker if Ronaldo leaves? Whom would Erik Ten Hag take as a defensive midfielder? Well, he's not going to get a defensive midfielder, David. Striker, it is somewhat hilarious, isn't it, that for all there's a lot of fans that don't like Martial, and suddenly he looks like the only striker that we've got. It's crazy how we've been put into this situation, because I would like to see Martial do well. But, I also agree with a lot of people that really we should be moving him on. Do you think we'll even get a midfielder, says Daniel? I think we'll get De Jong. I do. I know it's a mess, but I do think we'll get him. People saying we should get Kane. Why would Kane come to us in the Europa League? Great point, Joshua. Never even thought about that. Why would Harry Kane leave a Champions League side with better players and a better manager to come to Manchester United? Absolutely great point. Whether we can afford him or not, why would he? We now should be looking for a second choice midfield in case we don't get De Jong, says Darren. What do you think is the worst case scenario for this transfer window, and could it possibly mean we have to write off next season, says Abel. Morning, Mark. I still believe all our transfer targets will be here by the 31st of August, says Michael Roach. I'd like to know who you think the targets are going to be, Michael. Hilarious that fans think Kane would come to United after how Spurs ended the season. I hadn't even thought of it either, Sam. You're spot on. You and Joshua are spot on. The worst case scenario for Manchester United's transfer window is that we get Malacia, Eriksson and Martinez and nobody else. And we have to go and get, Neves or someone like that. I'd rather get Ruben Neves, Antony and Martinez, says Jack Lynch. And hi, Mark. Ronaldo is almost gone now. Who's likely to come with these budgets? I already think we get Dybala or Ben Yedder, says Jay. Dybala or Ben Yedder instead of Ronaldo. Yeah. It's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing. And is Ronaldo in training today? Still hope he stays. I don't think he is, Majak. I don't think he's in training today. The dream of Ronaldo coming home is now the nightmare. Absolutely the right player, absolutely the wrong time. What a reality check, says Mark Keith. Right, I have got a couple of other things to bring you anyway. There is a lot of... This is interesting because this came in from the Telegraph last night. I don't really want to add petrol to the fire, but there is a thought... there is thought to be a level of scepticism at Manchester United regarding the possibility of signing Antony. So despite this bid yesterday, which apparently is not a bid... I think even Dutch reports are saying there wasn't a bid. United are now sceptical that they can get Antony. I mean, with United, have you ever thought that our transfer policy is, can we have that player? No. We tried. Do you think Chelsea do that? Do you think Man City do that? Do you think Liverpool do that? Do you think they knock on the door to a club and they say no and they just go, we tried? We're so bad at transfers. I've been on about this for years, and many of you have been on about this for years. Stop employing your mates. Richard Arnold, John Murtagh, not John Murtagh, Richard Arnold, Matt Judge, Ed Woodward, they're all at bloody university together 20 years ago, or longer than that. Stop employing your mates. Employ specialists. You can't just go to Ajax and say we want Antony, and Ajax say no, and you go, we tried. That's why you have specialist lawyers for different things. That's why you have specialist transfer experts. Manchester United have never had a specialist transfer expert. We've never had a specialist CEO or director of football. John Murtagh, I don't think is actually that good at the job. I think he needed to learn the job from Ralph Rangnick, and he got rid of Rangnick. We haven't got specialists dealing with transfers, and that's why you get stories like that coming out from the club. There is a level of scepticism at Manchester United regarding the possibility of signing Antony. James Ducker is close to the club. James Ducker, Samuel Luckhurst, Laurie Whitwell, Simon Stone, when they say things in relation to United, they've got it from United. So that means that Ducker has been told that Man United are concerned that they can't sign Antony. Why are they concerned they can't sign Antony? Because they've spent too bloody long trying to do the deal. We should have been talking to Ajax at the end of May. The end of May about Antony. We spoke to them at the end of fucking June. Because we're so far up the arse of Barcelona trying to sign De Jong. Why couldn't we do 2 deals at a time? If we don't get Antony, it's got nothing to do with Ajax, and it's got nothing to do with Antony, and it's got nothing to do with Ten Hag, and it's got everything to do with our negotiating board. They've left it too bloody late. They've knocked on the door. Ajax have quoted a price. They know the Glazers won't pay. So that's why the scepticism's there. Ten Hag wants Antony. Antony wants to come to Manchester United. End of story. But United have messed it up again because they've taken too long, and Ajax know how to play United like a fiddle, and they've basically said no. So look, I don't know what's going to happen with Antony at the moment. I hope we can get this deal done because it needs to happen. But in the same article, James Ducker says Ajax winger Antony fears he could be priced out of a move to Manchester United due to his club putting a 70 million asking price on him, which is substantially different to United's valuation. This has got Perisic written all over it. If you remember the Perisic deal from a few years ago, we wanted to pay 40 million and Inter wanted 45. And Jose Mourinho desperately wanted the player. A few years later, we want to pay a certain price. Ajax went more, and Erik ten Hag desperately wants Antony, and Antony desperately wants to come to United. This could go the same way as Perisic, which was a big mistake. Not to get a player a manager really wants, who wants to play for that player at this club. As I said yesterday, we've always been quite well informed on the situation with Antony from his side, and yes, Antony is fearful of being priced out of a move. His agent and Antony are speaking to Ajax to try and negotiate that fee down. Effectively, they're doing United's job because they want the move. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. Because with any transfer, you always have to put your hands in the hands of Manchester United negotiating. And who knows? Ben Meekins, your legend, he's just gifted 5 United Stand memberships. Make sure you check out the latest video, Fantasy Premier League. Get yourself entered if you are a member. Shahir, welcome to Members Club. Same to you. Sean says, has anyone actually stopped to think that Van Gaal convinced Timber not to come to United due to the Glazers' toxicity? Is not a possibility, wanting the best for a future prospect? Probably, Sean. Probably. I know that's not nice for us as fans, but you might be onto something. Whenever there's negativity in the press about a potential United signing, I think it's the club trying to excuse not getting them. Cynical, but probably true, says Catherine. Of course it is. You know, James Ducker says United are sceptical about getting Ajax. What they're getting Antony. They're basically trying to make out that Ajax are asking for unreasonable money, but they're not asking for unreasonable money because they've sold half their team, and we're trying to get a player out of them when they're in pre-season training. I understand what Ajax are doing. Why should Ajax wait until their training started to sell another first-team player? Ajax would have sold us Antony at the end of May, but they've sold loads of players now, and they're going, well, we don't want to sell Antony, and if we sell him, you've got to make it worth our while. And then United go, oh, it's not fair. We should have negotiated better. We should have negotiated better on a lot of things this summer, and last summer, and the summer before. Mark, will Maguire be dropped if he can't play in a Ten Hag high line, or will the board intervene? Seb, I think Harry Maguire is going to be here for a very long time. I think Harry Maguire is going to play a lot of games. I think Harry Maguire is very powerful at Manchester United. I think Manchester United are very weak in the board and in the football network. And to be honest with you, the stories I get out of the club are that actually the players are treated like gods by people in power. So there is not a lot of respect from the players for the hierarchy at Manchester United because they don't respect the hierarchy, and the hierarchy don't know what they're bloody doing. So basically, the players have got the power in that football club, and the problem is that's why things went wrong last year. And you know, I don't see Harry Maguire ever being dropped. No, I think he's too powerful at Man United. I think Bruno's too powerful. I think Rashford's too powerful. I think there's a lot of players that are too powerful in that football club. Player power exists in that football club, and if anybody doesn't think that's true, as far back as Mourinho, players were going to the board to get him sacked. That is all. That still exists at United. There is still players that have got a direct route into the boardroom, and that's no good for a manager. Whether that will change under Ten Hag, I hope it does. You speak to people like Paul Ince, who played under Sir Alex, and it was like nobody, whether it's Mark Hughes, Eric Cantona, me, Keane, nobody would go behind Sir Alex. You couldn't get past Sir Alex Ferguson to get to anybody higher. You just couldn't do it. He was the boss. If he said something, you jumped. At United for the last few years, you can go behind the manager's back and to people in power, and they'll listen to you over the manager. That structure at United is not good. You know, I think there are people within that football club. They may not be popular in the fan base, but they're very powerful in the football club. Simple as that. Simple as that. Anything else to bring you from this morning's news? I'm trying to find something positive. Oh yeah, okay. Romano said that lawyers are checking Christian Eriksen's contract, so that should be announced soon. He also goes on to say, as it stands, no one at Man United knows when Ronaldo will return to training. And he also says, don't read too much into Barcelona's president Laporte's comments regarding Frenkie de Jong not being for sale. Yeah, they've got to sell. They've got to sell it. There's a financial issue there, and they have got to sell. So, summary. Chelsea apparently bidding for Ronaldo, 14 million. Dybala talks have started, according to Fabrizio Romano. Ten Hag is still trying to convince Frenkie de Jong to come to the club. He doesn't want to come. And Antony, there is scepticism about whether this deal could happen. Not a lot But Eriksen's going to get announced soon, and we're going on tour tomorrow. So, look, not the best of mornings, to be honest with you, but it's the news. We deal with the news. Do you think Ten Hag could ascend to some sort of manager, club director role like Zidane at Real? Why would he do that? Hi, Mark. If Ronaldo leaves... I think let's let him manage first. Hi, Mark. If Ronaldo leaves for Chelsea, I would be so disappointed. How can we lose him for the second time? What's most disappointing, he couldn't stay 1 year to help the club under a new coach, says Andrew. Do you think Ten Hag... I've done that one. Welcome to the Members Club, Fid, as well. Look, I'll repeat what I said at the start of the video. In relation to Cristiano Ronaldo, if you want him to leave because you feel that he's betrayed you, that's up to you. That's fine. I think that he wants to leave because the club is a joke, and I agree with that. The club is a joke. So I don't have any bad feeling towards Ronaldo. If Ronaldo is sold to Chelsea, I'll be angry with the club. They don't have to sell him to Chelsea. You shouldn't sell him to a Premier League club, whether he wants to go there or not. And then the final thing for me is that I really am surprised by is that I see people on social media saying Ronaldo needs to go, he's disrespected the club, we don't want him at our club anymore. And then the next tweet is we need to get this De Jong deal done. And I'm like, so Ronaldo, who is a club legend, who has always been professional, who was player of the year last year, who wants to leave because there's no ambition, you're kicking him out of the club in your mind, but you're welcoming Frankie De Jong, who does not want to be here, who does not want to come. We are dragging him kicking and screaming to this club. He doesn't want to come here. He's got no history with this club, but you're welcoming De Jong and you're kicking Ronaldo out, who wants to go for the right reasons. And De Jong is being brought in for the wrong reasons, which is that Barcelona want to sell him and he wants to stay. I want both of them to stay. So for me, it's not a conflict. I want De Jong because Ten Hag wants him. I want Ronaldo because he's our best player. But I don't understand how you can want one and then not the other, because to me, that's just contradictory. Hi, Mark. Harry can't like a post, but Ronaldo comments facts is justified, says Sal Harsh. Don't know what that means either. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Smash the like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. I've got a feeling today we're going to get some big updates, but I can't obviously say what those updates are going to be at the moment. Lisandro Martinez we need to be somewhere with Lisandro Martinez by tonight. He won't be on the plane tomorrow, but we need to be somewhere with that. It's ultimately, Dion, welcome to the Members Club. Make sure you join the Members Club if you want to be part of the Fantasy Premier League Members Club thing. And the video's up for that if you are a member to check it out. But I suppose the disappointing thing is that Erik Ten Hag is so exciting. I can't wait to see this team play on next Tuesday. Just, even if it's the reserves, I just want to see... I won't watch the game next Tuesday and go, this is the team that's going to win the league. We won't win the league. But I just want to see how he plays. I want to see how high the line is. I want to see how we move the ball about. I'm really excited about Erik Ten Hag. And that's the only positive for me, because this team is weaker than it was at the end of last season. A fact, it is. We've got one signing on that plane. We've sold nobody. I think Pereira will be sold today, but, Pereira's been on loan for 50 years. I'm excited about Ten Hag. The Glazers can do one, and the middle bit is Murta and Arnold. And I'm sorry, you are failing. The Glazers are a joke. Eric's really exciting, but Murta and co, you've messed it up, lads. At the moment, you've messed it up big time. Messed it up big time. Let's see if they can turn it around. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Please smash the like on the video.